Stablegold hospitality family. I am sorry that I cannot be there with you today, but I've decided to still participate in today's meeting virtually, giving you some insight on what the next 90 days look like and where we're currently at as an organization. This last quarter has been a quarter of growth. It's been a quarter of challenges, but we're making it through in a very impressive way. And I look forward to going through a SWOT analysis with you right now to let you know what our strengths are as an organization, what our weaknesses are, what our opportunities are, and also what our threats are going into this next quarter. So company background, just so you guys know the scope of our company right now, what our company looks like organizationally across the country. We currently have assets under management at $70 million. Of course, that's subject to market changes and what the market values our properties. But being in an inflationary period where prices of real estate are very high right now, our valuations are going to be fairly high as an organization. So based on our sales and based on our assets and the number of units that we have, we currently are managing $70 million of assets under management. We're doing about $13 million in sales. That's what we're on pace for this upcoming year. And we have 150 employees. So looking at those data points, we're probably at the largest scale we've ever been in the last 11 years since the inception of Stablegold Hospitality. So very exciting. And each of you have been a part of that growth. So thank you for all of the great efforts that you're putting in, because those numbers are reflective of a lot of the efforts you guys are putting in every single day. Lastly, this last quarter, as you guys know, we've closed on a new hotel, Economy Hotel St. Louis, which gives us a little bit more of a footprint in the Midwest region. And we're gonna continue to grow in the Midwest because that's been a great region for us. We've already seen very strong occupancy in the limited number of rooms that we have available in St. Louis. And our last property that we purchased last quarter in Oklahoma, we have seen very strong occupancy rates and sales going up. So looking forward to seeing what this next quarter has in store for us. So strengths, what are the strengths of Stablegold Hospitality that have been showcased in the last quarter and going into this next quarter? Number one, I would say our business model is still working. The business model that we have, as you guys all know, is very unique. Not many hotel companies or real estate investment companies in the country are implementing the same sort of strategy that we are. As you guys know, we acquire assets for typically bargain basement type of prices, and then we convert those assets into extended stay hotels. That business model has not gained a lot of competition. And what that means is that there's still a lot of ability to acquire real estate at very good prices, even though we're in an inflationary environment where other real estate assets are appreciating in prices. So we are still looking at deals where we could acquire hotels for $5,000 a door, $10,000 a door, and our competitors in other types of hotel assets are spending $100,000 a door, $200,000 a door. So that's our competitive advantage. We can take properties that most people do not want to invest in, and we can convert them to something that makes cash and that generates cash. You look at the Economy Hotel Oklahoma asset that we just acquired, and that property was sitting on the market for almost 2 years. No one wanted to acquire it, but we were able to acquire it and now operationalize it. And last month, very quickly, within less than 90 days, we're able to make a profit. So, you know, that's one of our competitive advantages and strengths going into the next quarter. We're still buying properties well below replacement cost and operating them to the point where we can cash flow them and make them successful. Secondly, we are implementing very strong infrastructure in the company from an HR perspective that we never had before. So Ron is doing a great job in his new role as HR manager, getting overtime down, improving our hiring process. So the number of open vacancies we have, especially on the managerial side, is shortening. And not only that, we are promoting a lot of people from within. So there's been multiple promotions within the organization over the last quarter. And that's because now we have a dedicated position to focus on who can be promoted, why they should be promoted, what are their strengths, do their strengths match the job that is in front of them. And we've been able to make some of these decisions much quicker because we have a dedicated force on the HR side. So that's been very good for us for many different perspectives. I'd also add that we are diversifying our portfolio quite aggressively from a geographic perspective. So we're buying assets in different parts of the country, which has been great because if one part of the country is suffering, we still have other markets in the Midwest or in the Southeast or on the West Coast, hopefully, where they're picking up the steam for where we might be losing some of our steam here in maybe the Atlanta market or other markets we're in. So that balancing geographically of the diversification of where we are is really helping us maintain cash flow. As well, the type of assets that we are investing in is continuing to diversify. So as you guys know, we acquired a new vacation rental in Atlanta that has been doing gangbusters. It's already done $30,000 in top line revenue in the first month that we bought it. So, testament to Shaba and the vacation rental management team out there of doing such a great job with that. We are in the process of acquiring 3 vacation rentals and event hall, 2 vacation rentals and an event hall in Augusta. And so we are once again expanding the different types of assets we're investing in. We're expanding and diversifying the areas that we are investing in. And what will happen because of that is we're creating a safety net because we have different avenues that we can keep growing the company. And so those are our key strengths going into this upcoming year and the upcoming quarter. Our business model and how we are acquiring properties in a very unique way. Number 2, our HR infrastructure, where we are hiring the right people for the right roles and promoting people that we see doing great things within the organization. And then lastly, diversifying the types of assets that we're investing in so we can continue to grow the company at a low risk profile and really keep expanding in the right way. Weaknesses. A lot of our weaknesses have carried over from the last quarter, and it's something that we consistently have to work on. I would say quality control is still a major weakness across the company in terms of our room quality. Making sure that our rooms are in a condition that we want to rent them. A couple of things that have caused room quality to keep deteriorating or not improve as fast as we'd like it to is A, not having maintenance people, and B, not having many housekeepers. So the hiring aspect of things at that level is challenging right now across the country, especially in some markets like North Dakota. But that's going to be a major component of how we manage the units that we own and how we provide the right product to our customer base. And especially if we're going to be marketing on OTA and different platforms, we need to ensure that the quality level is high. So we have Oklahoma on OTA right now. We have St. Louis on OTA. We really got to enter these markets as we've partnered with the OTA in the right way and ensure that quality of product is high. So we got to continue to do what we are, what we know we should be doing in terms of sending in the videos, in terms of double checking rooms, not just taking it for granted that the reports that we get back from our maintenance and our housekeepers are absolutely correct. If our area managers, our general managers, and our assistant general managers are not double checking what information they're getting back about the rooms, a lot of the deterioration starts, and then we find out how bad the situation is 3 or 4 months down the road once we actually get in the room. So very important that we make a constant effort to get into the rooms to ensure our quality control is where it needs to be. Our hiring of maintenance and housekeepers, once again, is a major challenge for us, and that's going to continue to be the case until the job market changes in some of the regions that we are in. Ron and the HR team that is helping out with JJ and George are going to continue to work on that, but that is something we're going to need to put more effort into going into the next quarter, of ensuring that we can get a lot of those positions filled. And then, one of the challenges that we are continuously going through, and that we will probably keep going through, and that's a major weakness for the company, is dealing with local governments. So as you guys saw with Covington, we have been shut down now in Covington for 6 months because a small fire caused us to have to evacuate a whole hotel. And now getting the county to come out and approve us opening the entire location again is becoming very cumbersome, because every time they come, they're giving us new items, and the list is growing, and it's becoming more challenging. So once a local government gets their hands on a property and they start getting involved in the operations of the business, it's very hard. It's an uphill battle to get that property back up and running. We saw that in Macon as well, but in Macon, the team there, the leadership team between Renee and Lisa and really Ron and Robert as well, were able to navigate a lot of those situations, and we worked with our legal team to also navigate around that. But these are going to be the major weaknesses of the company that we're currently going through, and that we are going to be working through towards fixing going into this next quarter. Quality control, making sure the rooms are of good quality, hiring, getting maintenance and housekeepers involved and in-house, and once again opening our hotels and getting everything up and running in terms of the properties that are shut down. I would encourage our team members to continue to focus on looking for creative solutions. And what I mean by that is, if you cannot find maintenance people, go the extra mile. Call local contracting groups, call local construction groups, find out how third parties can be utilized to fix some of the problems that you have at your locations in the short to medium term. Let's be creative, because when we are creative and when we're thinking outside the box, we can come up with solutions that we might not need hiring for, or we might not need to employ people for. We can just go out to the local market and get things done faster and quicker, utilizing third parties. Opportunities are abound this upcoming quarter in many different facets. So the Candler Event Hall Memphis has got a new leader, a new manager who's doing a great job. Velvet is really taking the bull by the horns and taking that business unit to a whole nother level. We have seen a lot of activity, a lot of customers contacting us about wanting to utilize the facility, and that's going to be a whole nother business for us in a region that is growing. Memphis is a region that is a little bit rougher on the edges, but it's also a region that's growing and that needs affordable event hall space. So I really look forward to what's going to happen over the next 90 days with that business unit. As well, we have continued growth across the country in terms of assets that we are acquiring. So we're looking at a deal right now, for example, in Oklahoma, a 5-hotel deal where we could acquire 5 hotels in one shot. And so we're looking at these type of deals that are going to give us major scale in a very short amount of time, because the goal of the organization, as you guys know, is to get 7 hotels this upcoming year, 4 vacation rentals and 4 event facilities. And so, we are in the process of getting there. We had 1 hotel in the first quarter, but in this upcoming quarter, if Economy Hotel Albany closes and a couple of the other locations that we're working on, we could really be on track for hitting our 7 hotels goal. So that is definitely an opportunity that we're continuing to expand on. And then lastly, the 3 new vacation rentals in Augusta is going to give us exposure to a new market that we've never tapped into before. But it's also going to tap us into special events across the state that we've never been tapped into before. Because once we acquire the multiple vacation rentals that we're going to be getting in Augusta, we are going to be, in an indirect way, partnering with the Masters Golf Tournament. And during the month of the Masters, large corporations are willing to pay major dollars to utilize the properties that we have. So this could be a completely new business model for us. Not the vacation rental side of things, but acquiring vacation rentals close to areas that have special events could be a new footprint for us in the real estate investing space that I'm very excited about expanding going into the next year. The threats we have going into the next 90 days is actually very similar to the threats that we've had in previous quarters, but it's still something that we should always outline and make sure that we have our eyes on the ball of it so we can continue to manage those threats as they come up. The first one is premise liability. As you guys know, we are dealing with a very challenging clientele, very dynamic clientele. Anything can happen at any moment. We've had this past quarter shootings at properties. We've had people that have been deceased. We've had multiple various issues happening at properties across the country. Security and premise liability go hand in hand, and it's something that is going to continue to be a challenge for us as long as we are in this space of providing affordable housing, because a lot of our customer base might have challenges that they bring to the property, and so we have to continue to manage that. I do believe that the security issue has gotten better because we're using a third-party company now that is very on point and very focused on providing the right security for our type of asset class, and they are growing with us. So I look forward to the continued partnership we have with them, because even though security is a major threat for us still, it is probably better than it has ever been over the last 11 years, based on the fact that our security company is being very proactive, the ownership and management is engaged, and they are working with our management team on the ground to fix a lot of our problems. I know that a lot of you might have issues with security still, but for those of you managers who have been with us for a while, I would encourage you to look back over the last few years and gauge whether right now is better than we've ever had before. And the goal here is always incremental growth, incremental improvement. If that is the direction we are going in with regards to any sort of threats for our organization, that's a good thing. So if there is some improvement, let's recognize that and then figure out why we have that improvement and see if we can scale that and continue to grow that going into future quarters. Lastly, I would say as a growing organization, one of the things that we definitely need to keep our finger on the pulse of is inefficiency. As a company grows, more positions are created, more positions are brought on at a corporate level, at a mid-management level, and at a property level. The goal for a manager and for all of us, even at the corporate level, including myself, is to really ask ourselves the question, is the position needed and is the work of that position bringing value to the company? Many times we are creating positions that we are not seeing an ROI on right away, and we got to continue to make sure that that is monitored. So, it's fine to make a initial investment, and maybe it takes 3 or 4 months for a position to really start building some fruit of ROI, but we want to be careful that we're not, as a growing company, adding in a lot of positions, growing a lot of salaries, and not having the income to support that. So just something we have to continuously monitor is the inefficiency of positions that we might create. And I think we've done a fairly good job of, when we see that, looking at how we can move our chess pieces around and make sure that we are moving the right individuals in the right seats so the company is getting the most benefit that it can out of those specific individuals and their strengths and the strengths that they bring to the table for Stablegold Hospitality. So in conclusion, team, number one, our company is at a great point. We're at an inflection point where we have grown significantly. We're at $70 million of assets under management. We are on pace for $13 million in sales. We have over 100 employees. and we are acquiring properties across the country, utilizing the network and infrastructure that we have built over the years. And it's really helping us go to the next level as an organization and as a real estate investment firm. Our strengths have been the business model that we've created, buying assets well below replacement cost, and creating an HR infrastructure that is enabling us to grow across the country and also giving us the opportunity to promote talented people within our company. We're having some challenges and we're still weak on quality control. Our hiring is not where it needs to be on the lower levels of management, but we are going to continue to work on that. And we're having some local challenges with local government still in terms of getting some of our properties back up and running. Our opportunities going into this upcoming quarter is going to be new business units like the Candler Event Hall Memphis, the continued growth that we have across the country in different business assets like the vacation rentals and the event hall that we're opening up in Augusta, as well as other business units on the hotel side that will continue to help our expansion. Lastly, we continue to deal with threats daily with premise liability, with security, and inefficiency. We need as a team to keep our finger on the pulse of all of these items. And as you're discussing your rocks today, as you're discussing your issues today, let's discuss and make sure that the issues that we just brought up, like liability, like security, like inefficiency, like hiring, is all brought to the forefront as things that we can work on this upcoming quarter. If we can work on the areas that we are weak at, that is going to build traction for the organization and help us achieve the vision that we created at the beginning of this year. I look forward to working with you all, and I know that through your leadership, we will accomplish everything that Stablegold Hospitality can accomplish over the next 12 months. I look forward to working with you.